What's going on to all of my Taurus? So please make sure to get the book at Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com. The links will be in the description box below as usual. If you'd like to contact me for personal reading, my email address as well as the prices are in the description box below as usual. So I've never seen a response like that to some good news, like from yesterday, right? Very unusual, you know. But how's the Taurians doing? Let's get this video to 30 likes. Leave some comments in the comment section, right? So far, I want to say that Leo and Virgo are my best videos, right? The two videos that gives me the best performance as far as views and likes and things of this nature, comments, I will do, right? Each time, you know. Thought that I'd throw that in the mix, certain things up, make it cool, you know what I mean? Keep that unpredictability going. So far, it's Leo and Virgo that are ahead. Of course, it could change. But let's get into it for the Leos. You have the Nine of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Nine of Wands, Three of Swords, Ten of Wands, Eight of Cups, Ace of Cups, Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, okay? No major arcana yet. Ten of Cups, Page of Swords. Okay, there we go. High Priestess, Wheel of Fortune, and the Ace of Swords. There we go. So I have seen some boards before where there is no major arcana. But for the Taurus, someone who was saying lies to you, someone who was very jaded in a relationship, you're not with them anymore. This represents them, right? Being jaded, them wanting things their way without trying to put in any kind of effort. A lot of you Taurus are not feeling that at all. So you decided to leave because you were getting a raw deal. So the thing is that the Eight of Cups now, the Eight of Cups is about you leaving this, right? The Ten of Wands is also about you leaving this situation. The Ace of Cups and the Queen of Cups is about them trying to stop you from leaving. So there is some sort of I wouldn't necessarily say love, but there is some sort of factor with the Taurus where Taurus is important to this person, that they do want to how do I say, the person wants to stop Taurus from leaving, okay? Because Taurus is the lover, right? Taurus is notorious for being the lover, them and Libra. But then again, they're ruled by Venus, the planet of love. So they don't want you to leave because to them, it'll probably be one of the better situations that they've ever had with someone, right? It would have been much better, though, if you would have got a major arcana, because it would have meant that in place of the Ace of Cups or something, because it would have meant that you were probably the best that they ever had. But from what I'm seeing here, though, it is a step down. You were up there with one of the very best that they ever had, right? And they don't want you to leave, you know. Now the Queen of Pentacles, right, is about you, it's about this person even trying to appeal to your logic. The Queen of Cups is about this person trying to appeal to your emotions. Logic is not an indication of real intelligence. Emotions are not an indication of real intelligence. It's when you bring the two together in a very harmonious way, in a peaceful way, that works, where you have a healthy blend of logic and emotion, is when it is that when it is that you have a holistic person or well-rounded, common sense having individual. Because what logic is, logic just means in essence, what logic is, logic just represents something that you can decipher or make sense of it. That's all it is. That's what logic is. Logic just means, can you make sense of it? That's what it means. That's what, when you do the digging, when you keep doing the research behind the wording of each BS reason they give you, and you break it down to the common denominator of what the word logic means, it just means to basically make sense of something. That's all. So when they say things like psychological, physiological, it just means taking the mind, taking the body, right, and those particular examples, and just to be able to decipher it in a way that makes sense for you. That's all it is. And the thing is that the Five of Pentacles is that they're trying to appeal to your logic. They're trying to appeal to what they think is what they think is your common sense. And the Five of Pentacles represents you, obviously, you Taurus. You Taurus can't be appealed, right, for when it comes to this person, because this person is missing their sanity, right? Like a lot of the stuff that they're saying, is essentially, if you're listening to them, which more than likely a lot of you Taurus is, because Taurus represents silence, you Taurus is listening to what it is that this person has to say, and you realize that a lot of it is BS. And a lot of this type of stuff, this person isn't necessarily making sense. So in a way, they could be trying to appeal to a lot of you Taurians without saying sorry, without saying what it is that they did, without trying to atone for it, and then talk about how you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. No, I would suggest you Taurus, do leave them alone and do keep it pushing and don't listen to them, because their ego is injected here. They're too caught up with their ego. Their ego is too important for them to even be in a relationship with you where they get along with somebody. So the Ten of Cups represents this relationship is now over, for more than likely, not 100% for good, but more than likely for good, now that you Taurus decide that this isn't what you want. So the next two cards that I come up with are the Page of Swords and the High Priestess. Most definitely, this person is thinking about, is upset at you that you left, and they didn't like the fact that you left, right? And the High Priestess represents this person is also keeping a close tab on you and thinking about you, and they don't want you to get far. So if any of you Taurans may have any kind of social media that you've got going on, or any shape, form, or fashion, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, right? Take a look at how many mediums of social media we have. Reddit. They're paying attention to it. Especially if you show them it, they're paying attention to it. So the Wheel of Fortune now, right? The Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Swords. The Wheel of Fortune represent Cancer, Crabs. Taurus is exalted in the moon, right? Cancer, Crabs. So, and then you have the Ace of Swords, okay? So this is about, again, the Wheel of Fortune. Whenever it is I get the Wheel of Fortune, I think about things of fate and that nature. And I think about how things needed to have happened that way, or things needed to have happened any way that you set forth. Because all what fate, F-A-T-E, is something that ultimately the person or people set in motion. And it's just essentially people who've been on a particular path now seeing something through to the end. So when you have the Wheel of Fortune, and we talk about things like fate and things of this nature, right? Bigger concepts, right? Free will and things of this nature. Yes, this person could have been in a much more functional relationship with you, but unfortunately they chose not to be, because they wanted to be on some nonsense. And that's just how most people are when it comes to relationships. I get people who come to me all the time, right, when it comes to relationships and stuff like this, and I try to explain to them all the time. And for the most part, I'm not saying each and every single one of them, because you do have some people who are advanced. But for the most part, what I hear is people who are intertwined too much with their ego. They're telling me about what they want to happen. And they haven't necessarily understood that, you know, they may not necessarily, my Taurus, they may not necessarily be ready for a relationship, because being in a relationship means that you love a person so much to the point where even if they're not with you, you're basically willing to let them go and let them do them as long as they're happy, even when it comes to sacrificing them not being with you. And like, you know what I'm saying? So the thing is that the Ace of Swords represents how this is a situation for them or for you where the Wheel of Fortune is most definitely on your side. This is something that you chose. You chose your own destiny, and you realize that these people wasn't the ones for you. And now you want to be able to determine things for yourself. The Ace of Swords represents that you're armed with a lot more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because you realize that whatever it is that you were looking for does not lie, or it is not with them. And one of the things that you Taurians are looking for is real love. But see, you need to have honesty in order to do that, right? It's love, truth, peace, freedom, right? Love, truth, love, honesty, peace, freedom, justice, equality. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the Moorish tenets, by the way. For all those Moors who are in attendance, you already know. You know what I'm saying? So let's clarify the Wheel of Fortune. Let's get into it for the Taurians. Let's get into it. So the Wheel of Fortune. To clarify the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Devil card, because we're clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. The Page of Ghosts and the Chariot. I am using the Halloween Tarot. Halloween is coming up. I have a Tarot based for it, or based on it. So to clarify the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Devil, right? This person is too caught up with their ego. They want control more than they want love. Real love, there is no chances. Real love is a risk. Real love is the understanding that you don't control the person. You're working with them as opposed to trying to control them. And only wink, wink, hint, hint. And maybe the Taurians may know this. I don't know. I'm not a Taurus. But the Taurians have an understanding, or may have an understanding that, or should, I should say, have an understanding that if you're trying to control the person, it means that you're lacking something. So the Page of Ghosts and the Chariot represents, Page of Ghosts is this person wants you back. They definitely want you to be down with them again. And the Chariot represents that, if they get a chance to come talk to you, they most definitely will. Let's clarify the Ace of Swords. Let's clarify the Ace of Swords. See, the Sword card represents truth, lies, things that are hidden, things that have come to light. So to clarify the Ace of Swords, the Three of Imps, the Six of Imps, Six of Pumpkins. So this represents this person. This represents your future. It represents false people trying to set your future for you as well, but only you do that. Which is what the Six of Imps represents. Only you create your own future, right? You have the Six of Imps and you have the Six of Pumpkins. So 2 6 cards. And then the Six of Pumpkins represents how you're waiting. You're not making any kind of terrible decisions about it. You are very much aware that if you hold out when it comes to people who want to shortchange you, you are pretty much very aware that people will be around you in the future, especially if you maintain your dignity, to offer you something much more substantial. Look at how the witch is handing the cat, the candy and stuff like this, meaning that you need to look for a person who is willing to be just as self-sacrificing as you are and is willing to give back just like you are. Because that's one of the things that love is: give and take, sacrifice, true self-sacrifice. Love is dangerous, love is risky, but again, what most people don't understand that Taurians may have an advantage in is that because Taurus is the lovers, right? Is that if you're gonna be in love, and if you're gonna say that you're in love, you're gonna need to stop being scared. Because what you see is most people scared, and then they faking it, talking about I'm not scared. So then take a risk. Go up to that person and say hi. No, I'm not doing that. So then shut up about. So then shut. You know what I'm saying? So then shut your mouth about you not being scared. You are scared, and you have to say yes to this, because if you don't, when you get put to the test and you freeze up, we know the truth. So save the, sorry, my cards fell, but save the bravado for people who don't know you. Love is risky. You understand? Let's clarify the High Priestess. Clarify the High Priestess, 10 of Ghosts, 8 of Bats, 5 of Pumpkins. Right. So, this person wants to keep you close to them, or what they think is close, so that anytime they want, they can always reach out to you again, try it again, say hi, try to rekindle things. And the 8 of Bats represents here that you're not going to ever say anything to them. You're done with them. You are essentially finished with them. But the 8 of Bats also represents how restricted they are. So it represents the stagnation of the relationship between the two of you. This person doesn't stand a chance, but they don't understand that. And you're not going to go back to them. And the 5 of Pentacles represents you've moved on. So as far as the relationship is concerned, you're stagnant when it comes to going back to them, but you'll be with somebody else though. So that's all I have for you for today. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe. Peace.